This is my video review of the new Madcatz officially licensed Xbox 360 wireless wheel with force feedback and vibration. I believe the wheel was released on November 1st, 2011. This is the wheel here. You can see it's got steel in the center, rubber grips on the sides, plastic on the top. It's very heavy, very well built. I find it to be very strong. The paddle shifters have a good snap to them. They really feel like you've got to let them know that you want the gear. They're quite sturdy. The gear shifter, first, down, up shift, down shift, and of course it changes sides if you're left-handed. I'm right-handed, of course, so I'm going to be going on that side. So it's quite snappy as well, works quite good. The wheel has full rotation. I believe it's 280 degrees. I could be mistaken, but it's plenty enough. It does go back and forth quite far. Here in the center of the wheel we have the D-pad, the Xbox start button, the Xbox button, and the back button. We have the lettered buttons for controls and navigation. Also, when you're on the menus, the paddle shifters double as the right and left trigger. In front of the paddles, here we have two more buttons that act as the bumpers, right and left bumpers. So as you can see, it sounds pretty good, it moves pretty good, it's very smooth. The force feedback on it is very strong, can be adjusted, and it does work quite well. And it is a very sturdy piece. In the front of the wheel, or I should say the back, we have the connection for the foot paddles, which is like a phone cord. Okay. Goes in there. Here we have the power source. Here is the sync button for the Xbox. And under here is supposed to be a USB connection for firmware, but it wasn't included with this model for some reason. There's no USB cord, and the port has been closed off and screwed closed. There's also a jack here for your headphones. That goes down to the pedals. This one goes into the wall to plug in. So like I said, there's no batteries. It is plugged into the wall, and it has its own power source. Okay, I'll turn it on here and get it started and do a quick review for you guys. There's a Madcatz logo on the foot pedals, and also the Madcatz logo is on the wheel as well. As I said, there's steel on the center of the wheel. It's almost like brushed aluminum. The paddle shifters are also brushed aluminum, what feels like aluminum, and also the gear shifter is not plastic. It is also a metal. Okay, so we're logged on to Xbox here. Let me bring up Forza 4. Give this a second to load. Okay, we'll just do some free play just to show you guys. Do a bit of hot laps. As you can see, you can navigate with the paddles. left and right, up and down with the D-pad. The shifter also goes left and right, and the gas pedal has no function, the brake has no function. So let's choose the car here. I'm going to go with the Ferrari. And we'll do the very results. Okay, I'll do one lap for you guys, show you how everything works. Now, as I used the pedal yesterday, I found that the brake pedal is perfect. There's great resistance, there's a good feel, and it pops back into place very quickly. The gas pedal, on the other hand, it is a little bit slow on the rebound. It's a little slower than what I expected. It's a little bit too easy to press, so I think in the future I may get a big sponge and put the sponge under the pedal and give it some resistance, both in the compression and the release, so that it will pop up a little bit faster. Other than that, I've used the wheel for a couple hours so far. That would be the absolute only complaint I have. In my opinion, the wheel is very sturdy, it's very responsive, it's very accurate, it does work very well. But as I said, the accelerator pedal is the one complaint I would have, but I think a sponge would be an easy fix. Okay, let's get this started here. Start race. The pedals do stick to the floor very good. They don't move, they don't slide, they're very, very solid. You can see the gear paddles, the gear shifters work quite well. You do have to give them a good solid pull. Let them know that you want the gear. They're not very cheap. They feel very solid, and you really have to give them a good tug to let it get into the next gear. Even though the gas pedal is not responsive on the rebound, it still does work. You just have to work with it. But like I said, the sponge I think is going to be a good fix for that. So there's the paddle shifters. As I said, the paddle shifters do work quite well. They're the ones that I use the most. The stick does work also, the gear stick. It does work quite well, but it's a little bit out of the way. It's just faster for me to use the paddle shifter, so that's what I choose. But here we go, down to third. A little bit of a slide. Okay, third, fourth. You can see it does work quite well. It does snap into gear quite quickly. It is responsive. Whoa. Okay, third, fourth. You can see the force feedback working. It does fight quite hard, and it is very powerful. I've actually had to turn it down a little bit because it was quite powerful. I don't like it to be so overwhelming. If you do, you've got that option, and it does work very well. It's very strong. For me, though, I turned it down just to have a little bit more control. And there we go, just to show you some control. The wheel is very responsive, as I said. It works quite well, gives you a good feel of the car. It feels very strong, very well made. And you can see the wheel isn't very loud either. It does make a little bit of noise. You can hear the gears inside the motor, but it's not overwhelming at all. If you're not paying attention, you probably won't even notice it that much. And that'll be good for that. Now, as I should state, this is my very first wheel. I don't have really much to compare it to. Obviously the Fanatec system is probably much better, but it's also more than double the price. This was $249.99 USD. And for a beginner wheel, for the first wheel ever, I've got to admit I'm quite pleased with it. It does work very well. It's exceeded all of my expectations, and I'm very happy that I bought it. It is definitely worth the buy. So there you go, guys. If you are interested in the Madcatz wireless Xbox 360 racing wheel with force feedback and vibration, this is definitely a good starting wheel. I have no complaints about it. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you very much.